Hi everybody, my name is Lisa. This is my corner where I talk about art reviews, art hauls, maybe an art vlog, when spirit moves me, inspiration and my general life with art and a few other topics beside. So I purchases to talk about first of all, and top of the pile, top of the list, your favourite and mine, Luminence pencils. I have a cat in the background who seems to be permanently surprised by having a tail, and he's entertaining himself with stuff. So if you hear scratching and scrabbling, cat. So Luminence pencils. Again, my little swatch book, saving myself a whole lot of heartache, money. So I've swatched them out here on sort of like creamy paper, so it's not too blinding white. So I got warm earth 40%, burnt sienna 10%, brown ochre 10%, ultramarine violet, primrose, which is a replacement, and oak brown 10%. I'm going to put a little picture of these close up so you can see exactly which ones they are. This is how, again, you know, there's nothing really to discuss here about their myriad beautiful properties. Right, so couple of thoughts. Oh look, no, that one I own already, sepia, which I will repurchase. Listen mate, while you're down there, do you want to come up and say hello? You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi, baby? Look how big this boy's getting. You say hi to the peoples. Ooh, you're going, okay. Bye. Yeah. What I will say is I don't think, I feel strongly, can I put that on the other ways? I don't think I'll ever buy the full shebang unless I win the lottery, because I would simply not use quite a few of them. Quite a few. Not just the one or two, which will, I mean, I can't remember, I'll put the details up here, but it's a massive amount in a huge presentation box, and they look very, very attractive, but look at me, so easily distracted. Yeah, the one thing that I did want to comment on is these three colours. So butternut, primrose, and the ochre brown 10%. Now, I'll put a picture up. Will you tell me, essentially, there's maybe a half-tone difference between these three colours. One is definitely probably a deeper yellow. One is more leaning ochre. But yeah, with this kind of duplication, I don't think I'll ever commit to the super. But it looks beautiful. So Luminence. The other thing I did with them, and sketchbook time, something to add to this. So I bought another of these little A6 sketchbooks because, ta-da! Round of applause. I have filled two others. So that was from the 12th of July, and I know that was from last year. So in about a year, I've done two. Of them, I really like the Etcher, though it is the most expensive. You know, there you go. That's a fact of life, people, isn't it? I've had great fun with them. There's been some highlights. These are, I'm never going to do a complete sketch tour because there's so many hits and misses in here. I'd rather keep my misses to myself, but I will share the hits. I really enjoyed doing these with oil pastels. Really enjoyed that. That was following a tutorial. That's not all my own work. Let's put it that way. Really enjoyed that. This was my take on it. Kids on a I've called that the foreshore. Shoulders out of whack. No change there. I've swatched in them. I've allowed myself, look, can I just say this? This is a copy, not particularly good, master copy of a Whistler Whistler portrait. The millennials did not invent blush pink. Here it is. Here's the evidence. I'll show you the original in a minute. I did this woodland scene. Happy with that as well. So I'm on to number 3. And I swatched the Luminence. What I've done is I've laid them over each other. Just to see, that's the her Schminke special edition metallic watercolours. I loved this palette together. Those warm greys and browns and pinky greys and grey pinks. Very satisfying. What else have I done in here? Nothing so far. I've got that intimidation situation with a new sketchbook, so I'm going to have to get past that as well. In the world of oil paintings, huge advantage. Huge advances. Huge advances. Yeah, been making progress. This. Saoirse Ronan, should know that. I'm Irish. I know many Saoirses. In Grand Budapest Hotel. So pleased with that. Portraiture, I avoided because I didn't enjoy it. But I persevered with that, guys. I did not give up. I just kept... I don't know how to explain, because the last video I was talking about an art blog. So having read... There's a book I want to talk about as well. I read loads of stuff. I stuck with the page a day from The Artist's Way. I can't be more specific about what shifted it. Whether it was just time and patience and different self-talk and changing my routine a little bit every day. And just sitting in here and not being afraid of a failure and not killing myself because I looked at something and thought it was a failure. I just said, I've learned something on this, but we're going to move along because I'm not getting bogged down. And do you know what the biggest difference was? We're going to talk about it now. I got a lamp. It's called Lepro Desk Lamp. Now, we're in the Northern Hemisphere here. We're up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Autumn is well and truly amongst us. The clocks have gone back. The light, murky, largely murky. Not a lot of it, and it's going to get sparser and sparser as we come towards the end of the year. And, you know, I've got to make an admission to myself here. I've got old lady eyes now. Yeah, and I probably wasn't aware of how poorly the light in here, in my little space. Here he comes. Go on, mate. Go on, have another go. Can I have a look at the window? Good boy. How all of those impacted on what I was seeing. So I'd heard about these artists' lamps that mimic daylight. Oh, so I had a look. Personally, I'm not in the market for one of £93 and upwards, but discovered smaller, just desk ones, not the freestanding ones, which you could probably move around a bigger space. I don't need that. So I found, I'll do a little walk around of it up here. As I said, Lepro was a brand that I found on Amazon. 30 quid. So it has 3 settings. I've got it here. So that's sort of a bluey. That's a nice warm one. I think we'll leave that one on. Cooler one. So 2 sort of cool ones. This very flattering, glowy one. Yeah, so huge difference because I can now work with a consistent light source. I can work at night with the same light. My eyes automatically said, Thank you, you irresponsible eye owner. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have glasses. I know I'm short-sighted. My close-up vision is deteriorating, but my bifocals confuse me. They feel heavy, so I'd rather not wear them. But this lamp goes up and down, so you've got different strengths. Let's see, that is low setting, and somewhere in the middle is fine for me. So I think this has helped. I can actually see what I'm doing, and it works great for this as well. Throws out quite a wide arc of light, so I would really recommend it for consistency's sake. So it's given me confidence about what I'm seeing, because I'm not kind of going questioning myself. I can actually see it, and I've slowed down. I'm not panicking as much about things. So if I feel like I'm falling into that, step back, step away. And because I have better light, I can sit back. I'm not crouched on top of something. I can sit back and get an overview and see everything pulling together. So that was the first. That's laps of victory in the kitchen here. And then this landscape as well, which I'm really pleased. There just seems to be a difference, and I think the desk lamp is where that difference is. So for those of you who I don't have great light in this space either, so loads of problems solved in one go. Speaking of oil paints and more purchases, I've been watching a lot of art tutorials and vlogs about oil painting and portraiture on YouTube, and looking at the palettes that other people are using, if there's anything, just a bit different, something that can change things, which leaves it sitting duck into the impulse buys. But I did think about them before I went for them. So I don't have a huge variety of oil paints. I've got way more gouaches. Let me show you. This is where I keep my oil paints. Right. So I was watching somebody, I'll put her name up, and she mentioned this red, Indian red. Yeah, Indian red. This is a Winsor & Newton one, so it comes up a brick red, terracotta, which really and truly, when I think about it, is like a cadmium red with an ochre or burnt sienna mixed in with. But I like it. I really do like it for a really rich, warm skin tone. Can you see him? Oh no! Come here. Don't worry, I've got all the solvents and stuff out the way. He's not gonna get into stuff, but he is going to be investigating things. So there's that. I bought Naples Yellow Light, this one, and I've just got a Naples Yellow Deep, Winsor & Newton, and this is a Terre Verde, Earth Green. Do you know what, that's come up brighter than I expected. I expected it to look earthier, but it's nice. These have all been slightly a little bit of solvent to smear them out a bit. So using it thickly, obviously it's opaque, but again, quite translucent. So there's those. Used this a lot in that, and I like it. These are relatively new, so I'm getting to grips with them. Next, done that. Books. We were in Epping High Street, I suppose, and there was a brilliant Oxfam. So we went, my daughter and I, and we had a good route. So first out the trap is this National Gallery Companion Guide. It's quite elderly, 1994. The print quality isn't great, but the information, there's a bit on each, on the paintings. It's divided into wings. Now, let me tell you. So, the north wing, west wing, onwards and upwards. National Gallery in London, it's on Trafalgar Square, can't miss it. Beautiful building. Pedestrian, yeah, Trafalgar Square is now pedestrianised, and it's free. It's free entry, and as you can see, the collection in it, everybody's there. The great, the good, the obscure. Every era, mostly European art is represented. If you want more diversity, probably the Tate. Where? Yeah, the Tate Modern. Yeah, I can't think of. Pimlico is the one that I'm most familiar with. Anyway, this is brilliant. It's immersive. You know what I'm doing with it? I'm just opening it randomly every day, taking a picture, having a bit of a read, absorbing that and going on about my business. It's a nice something to dive into. The National Gallery, when you go, can be very overwhelming. You walk in and you're straight into like Monet's and Van Gogh's Sunflowers and all the rest of it, and it's boom, then it's room after room after room. By about an hour and a half, you simply can't absorb. You can't absorb. Well, right, I couldn't absorb anymore. I felt overwhelmed, and came out with the realisation that I hadn't really seen everything that I wanted, that I knew was probably in there. So it's going to take a couple of goes. If you're a London resident, you can have a couple of goes at it. If you're visiting, either just go for it and absorb as much as you can, a bit like an all-day buffet, or you can plan it and go and see something like this. Is going to make that a lot easier. So the next time I'm going, whenever that's going to be, I'm going to go in with a plan and not just feel like, and the place is massive. The place is massive. So yeah, dizzying. I suppose the Louvre, any of those huge galleries, are best to go in with a plan and know what you're looking for. So there's that. The next thing I found is this. Oh Lord! It is a guide, book about 17th and 18th century art. So Baroque, Rococo, again big hitters. The Rembrandts are in here. Literally everybody. It would probably be easier to say Poussin, who's not in here. Across all of Europe, British, Italian, French. Velasquez, who's the other chap? Frans Hals, the Dutch school. It's all in there. Peter Paul Rubens, they're all in here. Now, again, it's a bit elderly. Prints aren't great, but very good text. Lots of beyond interesting, informative, and you come away feeling, Goya, that's the chap. You come away feeling you've got a better grip on the goings-on of the 17th and the 18th century. Of course, it's not everything about art history, but for composition and light and all of those things that they were starting to experiment with, away from those really formalised things, this is very good. So, as I say, if you never pass up a second-hand shop of whatever description, you will never know what's knocking around inside. Online second-hand books, this. How to Paint Like the Impressionists by Susie Hodge. I don't know how old this is. Somebody mentioned it. Where did I see it? I can't remember. 2004. Can't remember where I saw it. Now I had to buy this from America. It was $14.99. Fairly good condition. There's notes made in the margin. Doesn't bother me. Can be a bit illuminating actually, somebody else's thoughts. Now, the first thing, what I've enjoyed about this is understanding the process of, are you doing suspicious things? Understanding the process of these artists for whom paint application and brushstrokes and all of those things are integral to their style. Really interesting about laying down tonal contrast or contrasting colours to get that vibrancy, maybe loosening up a brush style, really lay on thick colour, move away from that very tight kind of painting, which I definitely am. I could criticise myself of is tight painting as well. Oil pastels, different materials, the approach to light, etc, etc. Now, for myself personally, I don't want to do stroke by stroke copies of master paintings. I want to understand how they work. I want to see how they used things, but I don't want to recreate not even a version, an actual, not even my version, but this very prescriptive. Then you do this, and then you take a number 8 flat brush and you do this with this colour. No, but as an insight, this is very, very, very good. I really enjoyed it. It's dense. It's been broken down, like I said, step by step. And for me, reading that sort of instruction, I don't know, it doesn't absorb, I can't absorb it very quickly. So it's taken me a while to just sit down and get in the flow of how this author writes and her approach. So it was interesting, it was really useful, but it took me a while to get into it, to feel it. Do you know what I mean? Do you get me? Yeah, get me. So I'd recommend it, but it depends on what your needs and your wants are. Would I buy it again? Would I? Yeah, I think I would actually. I think it's helped with the art blog, because it helped me think, it helped me step outside of what was tripping me up all the time. The way my thinking and my locked in thinking about stuff was tripping me up, it was stopping me. Because I kept doing things the same way. They weren't working out, and yet I couldn't find a way past them, but this helped. Right, now, on my I'm not sure list is this Twyla Tharp, The Creative Habit, Learn It and Use It for Life, New York Times bestseller. This lady it's disguised as a how to be creative. And it's described as a self-help book for the creatively challenged, okay? Which is where I was. I thought, this has been thrown in my path. This is the woman for the job. Now, plus, she don't take any prisoners, I can tell you that. She's thought this through. It's a no-nonsense, facing fears, step by step. Listen, this is what you need to think about. I couldn't really get into it. There is one wonderful exercise, and the first question in it was really, really good. So there's like this little inventory questionnaire. The first question, it's actually, a creative autobiography that you pose these questions to yourself. So what is the first creative moment you remember? Now that sat me back to think. And I can still remember, I can still feel it. And it was interesting how I still feel the same way. It was still the same sensation of absorption, of a way to remove myself and to absorb myself in this imaginative thing that I had come up with. And I drew all over this kids' dictionary that we had in the house, and I can still remember all the illustrations in the book, and I loved them, and I thought, oh, I can do something like that, and I scribbled all over it, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. So that was reconnecting with that was interesting. However, ritual is really important. It's important to me. Sometimes I have to change that around, but this woman is a dancer. She's a choreographer, so her physicality is really important to her. Being in contact with her body is really important. So she gets out of bed at 5:30 and goes to the gym. Now, yeah, no, that's her gig. You must do this and you must do that. No, I don't actually, mate. I don't have to do that like that. I can give myself ways off ramps sometimes. Listen, for me, physically, she talks about as well, like this, there was this question. When faced with stupidity, hostility, intransience, laziness or indifference in others, how do you respond? Stupidity. That's a bit, I didn't like how that was phrased. What's your greatest dream? What are your attitudes toward money, power, praise, rivals, work, play? Stupidity. Don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't see people as stupid. I see them as not oppositional to me or anything, just like they're just doing what they know. And if I don't agree with it, that's just down to me. Yeah, it didn't, it felt abrasive. That's the word. It felt abrasive. It felt very, Now, understand, yeah, you have to be disciplined. You have to be quite rigid with yourself. Now, for me, if I push myself past a point, I just produce rubbish. And if I'm tired, I stop seeing things. I don't see what's in front of me. And yeah, I've learned that about my way of working. And that's fine for me. Because of my fibromyalgia, I can't, because I will end up losing time, because I'll have to recover from what I've done to myself. And then I'm on a cascading sort of downwards thing with it, yeah? So would I recommend it? No. I think she thinks everybody needs a stern talking to. And I think she's quite hard on herself. And as a consequence thinks that boom, 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 grind. That grind is to be right. It's not. I personally don't think so. So, yeah, I didn't get very far with it. So maybe there was stuff later on in it that I've missed, because I just exited and went, no, that's not going to work for me. Yeah, love you, bye. So I have an art buddy, an art friend who I met through Patreon of Robin Sealark, and we are, she's in Alabama, and we chat. We look at each other's work, and sort of a friendship has flourished across the ocean. So her name is Dominique Casper. Online she is Nikki Creates Art at Insta, and I'll leave her details below. So she has produced her first set of greeting cards based on her work, and I love them. I just wanted to sort of show them to everybody. This one is called Sweet Crow. I love crows. Smart, clever animals. Birds. Let's be specific. Smart, clever birds. She's called The Sheen of the Feathers. Love this. Still life. Flowers, a floral piece. I love it. The cool background, those lovely, vibrant, beautiful palette that she's used of colours. Now this, Acapulco Cliffs, so reminded of Fairfield Porter. Beautiful blue shaded rocks and the heat in it. Love it. The horsey. Windswept mains. So that's Dominique Casper. Go and check her out. These have a lovely pearlized coat on them and comes with an envelope. I'll leave her details below. Give her some love. Check her out. Does some lovely stuff. So, yeah, I forgot to mention that. This is now the end. Thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe. Keep going. Be creative. And come back and see me soon. Okay. I have to go sort that cat out with some lunch. Okay, bye for now.